AI is evolving fast. Are you ready? Meet AI at Flightbase, your weekly hub to learn, upskill, and stay ahead in AI world. Let's dive into today's session.
That being said, let's start with the AI news for the day. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT at least, but for those of you who've already used, common browsers or for those of you who have used even Dia browser, things might not seem very new, but there's a lot of capabilities that naturally ChatGPT brings in. So it's the talk of the town. Do try it out. With that being said, Claude just decided to be a disruption, to disrupt every other tool out there. They had their Claude desktop, they had Claude code, they have the normal Claude that you can use on your browsers. There's various things to it, but Claude desktop has made things much better. A lot of people are talking about how Claude desktop has actually brought more benefit than what Atlas can do right now. So according to their features, you can right now just take screenshots of whatever document that you're reading and you can give it up to Claude and Claude will start answering all of those questions for you. This works particularly for Claude desktop. And also, if you click on caps lock, you can actually talk to Claude. Basically, based on what your entire conversation is going on, it can pick it up and it can start giving you answers based that. That's like super cool. But Claude didn't stop there. It brought in agent skills. Now let's talk about agent skills. They have brought this personalized technique and specialized capabilities that you can customize to create your entire workflow. So as a marketer, I have plenty of content to write. Now that's where this comes into picture for me. I can actually create a skill which has my complete brand guidelines like shown in this. And then I can tell it, okay, create my blog. What it will do is to go and check the complete brand guidelines and base that create an entire blog for me. Now, this is about a blog. Think about PPTs, the most nerve-wracking job as a marketer. I can now create the brand guidelines. I can have the PPT skill as well. So basically, using all of these multiple skills, it can create the best ever thing for me. So yeah, they've brought that in. But to create skills, people found it a lot of a headache. So let's go. Claude code templates. They have brought something called, in this link, when you go in, you will be able to see a template folder. So you can go into that template and actually create a skill all by yourself by chatting in natural language. So it's a pretty easy thing to do. Just go and copy paste into any of your terminals and then explain to the terminal what is the skill that you need to create. And all the folders that Claude has mentioned that you need to create, it creates by itself because naturally the template has given all the context. Now, Claude doesn't stop there. Claude Code has been something very famous, and Claude decided that it's not going to be very terminalish. Let's bring it on the website. So, Claude Code on there. There it goes. Now you can use just your web browser to access Claude codes. It's not anymore a terminal related stuff. You can connect it to your Git and do the entire thing that you want to do using Claude code. Of course, MCPs and everything is something different. But yes, that is about Claude. That's a lot of news from just Claude. But I think it's a war between all the AI platforms. Google AI Studio didn't stop. They said, okay, fine, let's help people create AI-powered apps. Now, how does this happen? Let's have a quick look. So out here, they have given already templates of how people can create apps using different Google tools. It can be Google Maps, it can be Vio, it can be Nano Banana, it can be anything. So you basically press what you want to do. So in this example, this guy has actually done using Google Maps. So he says, I want to use Google Maps to create a particular cuisine, or I want an app that allows me to enter my favorite cuisine and then it finds local restaurants around me to try. So he just created a very simple app, a very selfish app. But yes, he did that entire thing within few seconds using this complete Google AI Studio. Something cool, something nice, because Google also has a lot of cool tools. So I think there's a lot we can create using this. So that's it for the news. Actually, a lot has happened this week, but I'm just stopping out there. More to come, more I'll present later. But for now, let's invite Vishant on stage. He has created something that people thought is something very common. Like a lot of you here who have already commented on what all tools have been used. I see Raj Note Taker being very, very consistent with all the calls. But let's hear from Vishant about Task Whisperer. Vishant, over to you.
First of all, in your companies or in your firms, you might have faced this issue, I'm sure. Like if you are discussing with someone, like any of your senior engineer or CEO or any of your senior colleague, and while discussing, you are going through some stuff, through some extra stuff apart from the work you are doing. Like suppose you are building one project for your company, and you are discussing with a fellow engineer, like what should I do and what extra things should I add in this. And many times we forgot to add those things while discussing that. And in that discussion also, we discuss through many stuff. So suppose me at Flightways, what we do is, if I'm discussing with a fellow engineer, then I am discussing a lot of stuff like what currently in AI world is going on, or if I'm building anything, then what should I do in that stuff. And many times I forget like what I need to do because conversation goes elsewhere and stuff like that. So for that purpose, uh, well, uh, we don't need to join Meet. We join Google Meet every time. So suppose if we are talking and if we are walking and talking, so Harman, we don't need to join in a Google Meet. Of course, we have tools like CircleMac, Otter.ai, that someone have mentioned in the Google Meet chat, but it would not be helpful in this case. So what I did is I created one tool where you can record those conversations in a mobile, in normal audio recorder app, and you can upload that recording in my tool, and my tool will do the transcription of that conversation which you have recorded, and it will give you an actionable task. So uh, whatever you have discussed in that conversation, it will give you a task, a list of tasks, and the main thing is you can modify that. So suppose if I so if someone says like I need to do this, you need to do this, you need to follow on this next week or something like that, then the AI will fetch that action and will output it as an action task. So in the tools which we have existing, you cannot modify the task. It will auto generate the task, and you don't have capability to modify it. Like if you want to remove that task or if you want to add any new task which might be missed by an AI, then you cannot do that in CircleBack or Otter.ai. And also, it generally does not support multilingual transcription. Like we are using CircleBack, and in CircleBack, till I know, it does not support multilingual support. So if we have any conversation in Hindi, then it will not be able to translate it properly in English. So yeah, this is the main reason which I have built my stuff. And of course, like uh, if we are discussing something and in our company, and it should be the data should not leak out anywhere, and it should be conserved in our company space. So and also like if we are using multiple tools for a small task, then it would be a time consuming, and it bores everyone to go here to go on Gemini or to go on ChatGPT to do a transcription, then upload it or upload it to other AI and do and fetch tasks from that transcription. It will be a lot of hustle. So what I did is you can upload an audio file or upload your recording from your phone. The Gemini 2 Flash model will transcript that audio file into a transcription, and it will fetch an actionable task from that. And you can uh, assign that task through a username by Slack. I have used Slack API to fetch the details of the channels of the users that we are having in our organization, and you can deliver them via Slack. And also to that task, you can add a specific due date, like this task should be completed by this date. Then it will then that date will also be mentioned in that message. And also, as I mentioned previously, you can able to modify that task. Like if you want to add a new task, if you want to remove that task, then you can do that. So let me first walk you through a demo, like how it will work. So here is the dashboard. So if I am uploading any audio file of the meeting, so let me upload the file. So after that, we will start a transcription. And also you can uh, install it as an app. So every time you don't need to uh, open a laptop and upload just files via laptop only, you can do that via mobile also. So yeah, the transcription is going. And also you can view your previous transcripts here. You can view it. So yeah, transcription is done. And we will fetch the action tasks. And also you can download a summary for like what have discussed in this. So you can download it also, and it will be presented like this. Like this is actually the summary. This is the key topics that we have discussed. These were the main discussion points. These were the action items, and these were the key takeaways. So yeah, you can download it. This in the form of PDF, and yeah, these are the action items. So my so what we are following a protocol, like whenever we start any audio recording, we will first speak out our names. Like I am Vishant, I am Shruti, and the Gemini 2 Plus model is so smart. Like it will fetch the tone that you are speaking, and based on that tone, it will recognize the names. And based on that name, we will match that name with the Slack username, and we will auto assign that username with this action task. So as you can see, it auto assigned with one of the member Kanchi, and it auto assigned the task for that. You can assign that to other person also. So let me assign, and we can, as I mentioned, we can specify a date also, like by what date it should be completed. So here is the date, and if you want to add any new task, so you can add that also. Like if I want to assign date, and if I want to remove any task, then you can remove also. So if you want to send it to your DM, you can directly send that. And if you want to send to a specific channel, then you can send there also. And you can send on your private channel also. You just have to add this bot in your private channel, and it will do that. So this private channel, and if I click send, it will be sent on my Slack, as you can see, and it is in the form of to-do list. So anyone in the channel can track that this tasks are done and these tasks are pending. So you can track that also. And yeah, this is the DM. This is how it looks, and you will be able to mark as complete also. So this is the overall demo of the tool which I have built. Now coming to technical implementations, I was trying various models, like which model I should select for the transcription. And first I have tried with OpenAI Whisper model, but it was costing too much. Like it was costing around $0.2 per call. So I then decided to move on Gemini, and Gemini, as I mentioned, it matches the tone of your voice, and it will assign you that task accordingly, according to the name which we have mentioned. So in starting of the meeting, I have mentioned like my name is Vishant. So it will track my audio and throughout the recording, and it will based on that it will assign the task, and it can auto assign that task to and it will match that user to the Slack, so that we don't have to manually go and assign the specific task to a specific user. So yeah, and basically for the tracking of the cost, I have used that Langsmith, and through Langsmith we can track like how many cost we have done per call. So suppose as we can see, we can track here like how much tokens we have used and how much cost we have done. So it is 0.002, which is very much less compared to Whisper model. So yeah, this was the thing. And as I have mentioned, like it will auto translate to English, and that's why I have used the Gemini 2 Flash model. Also, for longer audio durations, like if we have audio more than like hour or 2 hours, then we will do a smart chunking so that the context window of the model can be maintained. So suppose if we have uh, like let's say 2 hours audio, then we will chunk it in the size of 30 minutes, and based on that we will do the transcription, and from that transcription it will fetch the action task, and it will maintain the monotonous audio for the user context, because I have mentioned in the prompt that track the user based on the introduction which we have done in the meeting, and the introduction should be done in first 10 minutes, so that the if for longer audio durations, the chunking the chunks which we have created should not uh, should not get lost the context of the previous chunk. So that's why we have generated a protocol that in starting of the meeting of the first 10 minutes, you have to do the introduction. So this is a chunking strategy to save the context window for the generation model. And yeah, and this is a prompt which I have given. Like it should be a multi-language support. It should extract names like I am or my name is based on the uh, transcription which we have done, and it will auto assign the task, and this will be the assignment patterns like the name and what you will do and the due date which I have mentioned. So this is the JSON output format which it will look like. And yeah, for the costing which I mentioned, like GPT Turbo and OpenAI Whisper model was taking too much cost per call. So that's why we are using Gemini 2 Flash model, and it is very much optimized. And as I have already shown you, like it took only $0.002 cost. So yeah, it's very cheap. And yeah, basically it's all about that. And also, yeah, it will be showing the confidence score of, and we will be using a fuzzy logic to match the user ID with the username. Uh, and it is also done by the Gemini model also. So no need to do any manual work. And yeah, this is a technical architecture diagram. Front end is in Next.js, back end is in Express, and I have used Gemini model and Slack API for the Slack integration, and Langsmith for cost tracking, and Supabase for the data storage. So yeah, and yeah, this was the overall tool which I have built. So any questions?
Yeah, Vishant. So we do have quite a lot of questions on language. So there are people who's asking if our meeting is conducted with multiple languages, how will those be converted into summary and later on to tasks?
Yeah, so as I have mentioned, uh, I have tested with Hindi and Marathi, and the Gemini is converting all these languages to English very properly. And as I have said, like for longer audio durations, if we are using multi-language, like for first half an hour we are discussing in English, and for first half and another half an hour we are discussing in Hindi, then Gemini will do it smartly. Gemini will process this each chunk separately, and it will be converting those languages into English language. And as we have mentioned in the prompt, let me show you the prompt once. So yeah, so transcribe all speech content, listen to the entire audio file, transcribe everything regardless of language into English. And this is the translation service which I have created separately for converting it into English. So
Cool.
yeah.
So that answers two questions, right? So you have stress tested with three languages, Marathi, Hindi, and English. And also it processes in chunks. So you don't have to worry much about multiple languages being there in
Yeah.
one. Cool. Get that. Okay. Any go-to transcription APIs for Indian languages? I think that sums it up, right? It's a Gemini.
Gemini is the best option. I have also tried OpenAI, but as I mentioned, it was not very cost efficient, and it was not converting it into English accurately as Gemini is doing. So yeah.
Correct. So Sujit also asked, like, is there a link to the website of your task whisperer that he can use?
Yeah,
So
so currently we have built it just for the internal use for Flightways, but I will surely publish it and I will post it on my LinkedIn. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. So through that you will be able to use it.
cool, that works. That's all are the questions on the chat box. Udit, you had raised your hand in between if there is any question from your side.
I had a question, but it was answered already. But I still wanted to understand, is this like an independent tool, or can we integrate it with, let's say, Microsoft Teams? Because eventually, if I have to use the transcript or the audio file, if I have to upload, that will be like an extra step for me or my team members. So, is this something that you have planned for, let's say, in your roadmap, or how can we achieve that? Because if we have to use AI and make our work seamless, and we do not have to put in manual effort for all of these small things, so that we have to switch between applications, then it will make more sense, right? This is what I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, sure. So the main use case for creating this was like if you and I are discussing in an office, like if we are in workspace and we are talking face to face, then we will not be joining Google Meet, right? It would be extra burden. So we just have to open a phone, start the recording, and upload it on my own. And about the Microsoft Teams and Google Meet you are talking, there are already services which are doing this, like CircleMac and Otter.ai, and it's doing the same thing which I am doing. So it would be very much better to use that. And this was just for the internal use case. Like if we are in the office and discussing for face to face, then we will not join any Google Meet, right? So
So let's say if I'm talking to you in office and I
yeah,
don't particularly mention your name in the conversation,
yeah,
then this
yeah.
part of
And the
you know
task will be generated, but you just have to manually assign me. Like
can
in Slack, you have to find my username and assign the task to me. So that you have to do manually. Otherwise, the task generation and the summary generation will be automatically. So you don't need to worry
Okay,
about
I'll
it.
give you a piece of information. I don't know whether you have come across it or not. Um,
Okay.
Samsung has, their One UI 8, which is their operating system for Android, the layer of,
Mhm.
wrapper which they are building on Android. With all the latest AI features that are built in, their voice recorder has this feature already. So let's say if I'm talking to you and I have enabled the voice recorder, after our conversation ends, it'll give you a transcription, it'll summarize for you, and it'll give you an option whether to summarize in English or Hindi or the language of your choice. And at the end of it, it will identify whether I have mentioned certain dates for which it'll ask you to whether you have to create a calendar event for that, or it'll also ask you to whether you have certain tasks which were discussed in this conversation, and it'll show you those tasks which you can automatically add in the reminders app of Samsung. So maybe if
Yeah,
you have you come across this, or you're yet
yeah, I have heard these things, but the main issue will be you after you generate the task, you have to go or copy those tasks and
No,
send
no,
those
no.
tasks
It's
manually to
just a
that.
button. It's just a button that I have to click.
Yeah,
It will show me all the tasks. Unless I have to specifically edit a task, then obviously I'll have to make those changes and I have to
yeah,
type with the keyboard. But otherwise, because I'll tell you, I've given it a go myself. I recently relocated to a different city, and there
okay,
were a lot of things that I had to discuss with my landlord. And I basically, said everything out loud to the voice recorder, and it gave me a transcription, it gave me a summary, and it gave me the set of tasks that I was supposed to do when I shifted to the new house, right?
Hmm.
So
yeah,
this is
but you
where I
you
think it was
still
a very brilliant implementation, and I really like that,
like
right?
yeah. So actually, those tasks which are generated, it will be there in your device, right? But if you want to share it on your Slack or on your Twitter, and you want to assign it to a specific that person, then you have to manually copy that task, paste it on that Slack, and then you have to manually assign that username to that task to those tasks, right? So yeah, like this is the platform where you can do all these things in one space. So as a senior developer, as a senior engineer, I would not go to this multiple platform and do this task manually, right? It would at the end it's all about time. So you can do all these things in just a minute or less in
Correct.
this platform. So that's why uh,
But
this
here again, we have to basically upload an audio file for all the magic to happen, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So as I said, I have also added an PWA, which is Progressive Web Application. So you can download this software as an
Yes,
app also.
correct.
So through mobile also you can do it. You don't need to open your laptop and do all this stuff.
I would really want to give it a try. And
Yeah, sure.
great effort, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's great. Sujit asked, like, I used to transcribe the audio in anything workflow, but Gemini transcribe fails sometimes. How did you deal with Gemini node failure in your system?
Yeah, like for me, it never have happened like Gemini fails to transcribe all that. And for longer audio durations, as I mentioned, it was previously not transcribing it properly. But as I do the chunking, as I apply the chunking properly, like dividing the audio in 20 or 15 minutes chunks, then it was doing it very perfectly. And yeah, it might be there might be an issue in the anything workflow node or any logic which you have used. But for me, I have not like came across any node failures like that. So this was purely written in JavaScript, and I have not used anything workflows. So yeah.
That's great. I think Anirudh had raised his hands. I'm not sure. I think that's the name. But do you still have a question?
Thanks for
Yeah.
thinking of that. Shruti, my question I think was already answered. I was going to ask if somebody does not introduce themselves in a voice recording, then the it was clarified that the task gets created but not assigned. I'm
Yeah.
wondering. I understand that with what you explained, you said that your tool looks at the audio recording and does the diarization. So it does split it into different users and stuff. But do these tasks get assigned to maybe pseudonymous person, like person one, person two, and then we change who is person one, person two? Or is it not assigned at all in case somebody does not introduce themselves in a recording?
Yeah, so it will be by default assigned to a certain Slack bot as a username as Slack bot. And if you want to reassign that, or if you want to modify that, then you can do that also. So as you mentioned, like person one or person two, it will be assigned as @ Slack bot. And by Slack bot, you can be after that you will be able to modify like the name of the person if you want to assign that task. Hope it answers your question.
Got it. Just to clarify, all the tasks get assigned to one Slack bot. It does not break it out by the persons that it has identified by
Yeah.
voice.
So mostly what it will do is if you have taken a name in the starting of the meeting and I have not taken it, so for you it will be assigned to your Slack username, and for me it would be Slack bot because it was not able to recognize the name behind the task, right? So it will be by default assigned to Slack bot. So yeah.
Got it. And if there were two users who both did not introduce, both of them will be Slack bot.
No, then it will not be assigned. It will remain empty space. Then you have to manually select that user in that drop down. Select username list.
Thank you for clarifying. We look forward to
Sure.
links to that.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks. Any other questions? Cool. Since I don't see any questions, cool. We're moving ahead. Thank you so much, Vishant. That was a great
you.
session. Thanks for being here and showing this wonderful project of yours. I hope a lot of them found it useful. This is a very, something that can be replicated very easily, and it's not something that requires a lot of effort. And I think, Vishant, with all the hacks that you've told right now for people to get it done, it's going to be much more easier. But just to add a point to it, I think when it comes to creating something all by yourself, you get the a sort of like a freedom to personalize it to the level that you want to. So
Yeah.
it's just not all about getting a transcript and then converting it into task list. There's more to it. So you have a marketing team, you have a sales team. You can tell your AI and keep that, these people are in my marketing, these people are in my sales team, and just assign the tasks based that. Or even if there is two people who are talking about it, let's say the business director and the CEO, they're talking in an audio message, and in that audio message there's some ideas that they want to do for marketing, it can automatically get assigned under that bucket. So there's a lot of customizations that come to it, and to do it with some native apps that exist right now is pretty difficult, I feel. So, oh, okay. Yes, Anirudh.
Thank you. Can I make a request or suggestion, please?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I love the fact that this considers Indian native languages and is able to transcribe that. And I've used quite a few of the note taker apps, including Firefly, Otter, TLDV, and most recently Granola. And I think that the outputs that I get from Granola are exceptionally better than any of the ones that I previously used. One of the things that they also do is they kind of identify the type of meeting that I'm on. So whether it's a discovery call or a QBR, WBR, and MBR, gives me a summary attuned to that kind of meeting format. So which means that they have good prompts to summarize meetings, different kind of meetings, essentially. So if I could get a similar kind of summary and task assignment list for conversations that I have with folks in local Indian languages, then I think that would be a game changer for me. Not that considering you're putting so much effort into this, I would love to share this feedback with you.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I'm doing that. Like, if you are talking about the summary of the meeting, right? Like whatever conversation we had, we want a kind of summary, like what were the key insights. So actually, I'm already doing that. I guess you understand. Let me one share. Yeah. So at the end of the after transcription, you will get a kind of PDF like this. Like, of course, this is very basic version. We can improve it on what what part we want in the summary, but this was the main, like this is the executive summary, this is the key topics, these were the main discussion points, these are the action items, these are the key takeaways. So yeah, the summary part I have already edited. So I have not used Granola till now, but yeah, I will surely go through it, and I will try to enhance it based on that use case.
Yeah, this is great, of course. One
Okay.
of the things that Granola does is, because what we talk and the content of the meeting is just very, very huge, instead of having us to completely go through every single thing with large word paragraphs and text, it summarizes it to just the important points with like, and that was, the key differentiator between any of the other ones that I used, which would summarize as huge text chunks. Because essentially, when you're looking at a summary, you're looking to see like the key takeaways, the one word, one phrase that will remind you what was that point, rather than an entire paragraph. Not to say that that's not important, but just having that one key phrase that reminds you, oh yeah, this was what we talked about for 15 minutes. That part it got really right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, man. I will surely look into it. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you so much. That pretty much sums up everything. Thanks, Vishant. And yeah, and for those of you who are new here and again who's not part of our community, the QR is out there. Do join us. And we'll be updating you about the other session soon. We have a session next week as well. It's about how you can do testing and all of those things on the browser. I mean, basically you write a code using AI and then the testing goes haywire because you don't know if the codes are running well. A lot of people have been having an issue about that. So one of our developers have solved that issue. So do join in, tune in to let us see what he has done and how he has implemented the solution. So that's it. I'll be posting the link for that soon in our community. Do join in, and looking forward to seeing you guys. Happy Thursday. Bye bye.